Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali and this is part of my pregnancy journey that I'm sharing with you in the hope that this will help anyone who is going through this whole process themselves, or if you're just curious to know what goes on inside the life of a pregnant person. Just today I finished editing a video about the struggles of pregnancy because especially in the first trimester they're very, very real, and I feel like the media or our expectations of pregnancy are very, very different to how it actually feels sometimes. However, editing that and also coming now into the second trimester, I feel that the real struggle points have kind of eased, or at least my mentality has changed. So in this video I wanted to make some points on how to shift your mentality from being anxious or nervous or drowning underneath all these unknowns of the future, which we do face in pregnancy, how to shift away from that into a place of really enjoying your pregnancy. Something I've really realized recently is what a beautiful time pregnancy can be. And it's all a matter of perspective, how you see this journey or how you judge yourself in terms of being able to cope. So in this video, I'm going to give you about 6 points. I always miss however many points I'm going to do, but I'm going to give you a couple of points here on what helped me actually, and what helped me to overcome this place of sheer anxiety and fear for what the future holds, into just like really embracing this journey. So I hope some of these tips help you. Do feel free to share your comments in the comment section below. It's a beautiful summer's day here in Japan and I could not resist going outside. I didn't quite realize how humid and hot it would be. I think it's about 30 degrees and maybe like 90 degrees humidity. So probably by the end of this video, I'm not going to be looking so unsweaty. Let's just put it like that. But anyway, please enjoy the content of this video, even if the visuals aren't quite up to scratch. So I'll start with a realization that I actually had today. As I mentioned, I am in my second trimester and it's taken me 16 weeks to have this realization. I think a lot of the fear around pregnancy is about losing control. You know, your body is changing, your hormones are changing, your future is changing, and there are so many opportunities, if you want to think of it like this, to feel out of control. And it just hit me today, why do we need this control? It just hit me. And I think like so often, at least for me, I associate unknown with scary. But it suddenly occurred to me, like, what is scary about the unknown? Why should the unknown be scary? You know, it could be like a land filled with new opportunity and new joy and life that you've never seen before. And I think having that realization today, it made me have a new wave of confidence about myself as a pregnant woman and of course as a mother, a future mother. I think like letting go of the need for control allows you to kind of just melt onto the current of the universe and just trust, because as I let go of control and as I embrace the unknowns a bit more and a bit more openly, I really feel like I can do this. And it's this weird knowing. It's not logical. It's not with my experience or with my brain. It's with my heart. And I don't mean to get all hippie on you here, but there's such wisdom, I think, in the human body. Like the fact that your body can change in all the ways that it's changing now and create a human. Like it never will not blow my mind how the human being, the female being, can create another human. It's just like, it's amazing. If you truly think about it, it's just magic. And so I think at this time, think of yourself as a magic being. You know, you are a powerful woman that can bring another human being into the world. And your body is actually designed for this. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Whilst, of course, control is not our strongest asset right now, but we are about to open the door to a whole new universe of experience and opportunities and feelings and love. If you're not feeling these like strong emotions of love or maternal instinct or anything like that, if you feel like, God, I wish I could just drink wine and have a party, I hear you. And I don't think that makes you any less of a good mum. You know, I think every single woman that you see, even if she looks really put together and like she would be the perfect mum, I think we all have moments of just doubting ourselves. And during pregnancy, I think is a time to really be on our own sides, because at the end of the day, if our brains are not involved in this process, our bodies are so capable. Like, getting graphic here, but the fact that your downstairs area will dilate to 10 centimeters to allow the baby through, this is technology beyond anything that we've invented. You know, this is unbelievably intelligent of the human body. So there's a huge element of just trusting yourself in this process. Trust that your body knows what it's doing, and just try your best to work on your body's side. This is a pretty difficult thing because, again, this is definitely something that I have done is, try to manipulate my body, try to change it, or try to lose weight, or try to look a certain way. Even if I'm hungry, maybe sometimes I'll ignore my hunger cues. But now when it comes to pregnancy, like, this is a time where I can't starve myself just because like the latest celebrity trend is to be skinny. Like, I have to respect my body and I have to listen to it. I have to be on its side. And so that's another piece of advice I would say, is that instead of resisting or distrusting yourself, wholeheartedly melt into trusting your body, listening to its cues. If you really, really, really crave some McDonald's chips, I'm not saying eat them every single day, but your body is smart, very, very smart. So if you do have these cravings, or you do have these aversions to foods or activities or places or smells, listen to what your body is saying. I think the pregnancy is a time where you are most certainly your most powerful as a woman. You are doing what the human body, what the female body has been designed to do. So just trust yourself, trust the process, and most importantly, trust your body. So the next thing I wanted to say is, I want to talk about this pregnancy as a kind of journey, and don't feel like you can't ask for help. Now, again, I'm someone that I really don't like accepting or even asking for help. I like to be strong, I like to get on with things and do them by myself. I don't really like to admit that I'm struggling. But I think with every single journey, like if you go for a really long hike, you're going to bring a bag with some stuff to help you. You're not going to think, I'm going to keep going, I won't need any water or any food, I can make it all the way through this hike with no resources. In every journey, you are going to take resources. And it's exactly the same with the journey of pregnancy. You're going to need support. You're going to need a lot of rest. You're going to need changes and support with these changes. So don't be afraid to reach out to the people around you. They say that raising a child takes a village, and I think that begins in pregnancy. Use your friends, use the online forums and space that we now have the luxury of. Use all of this to really sort of like learn and embrace this process and feel supported. That is basically why I'm making these videos. I'm a first-time mum. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I do know that support is absolutely paramount. And I am living in Japan despite being British. So I am slightly out of my comfort zone, but I do have my husband there by my side. And even if you don't have the baby's father with you, I know plenty of women who have absolutely smashed motherhood without the father there. So I think everyone's doing pregnancy in their own way. Like, every single pregnancy is different, and every single person will find a way to raise the child as best they can in the way that they know how and with the resources that they have with them. I think, like, especially in city life, there's not really like such a tendency to just reach out to people that you don't know that well. But I will say that for women that have had a child, you would be surprised how willing they are to talk. So if you're in a neighborhood and you regularly see a mum with a young child, don't be afraid to reach out to her, because I'm really like appreciative of this point, but I was surprised how women are so eager and willing to talk about their pregnancy stories, not just about, you know, what to buy or whether to go secondhand or whether to buy new, all that kind of like logical stuff, but also just like support. Like, is it normal to freak out? Or is it normal to crave a glass of wine every now and then? Like, all that kind of stuff just becomes so much easier to deal with when someone else has been through it too, you know. So as I said earlier in this video, please don't be shy to leave a question or a comment or to share your own opinion in the comment section below. As I said, I am in Japan, so there may be a combination of Japanese comments and English comments. Both are equally welcome, or French or Spanish or Chinese or anything like that. So just please feel free. It's not a language barrier zone, just shared love and shared support. So please use this as best you can. I'm sorry, the hair was just getting too much. It's like triangular shaped. Anyway, sorry, another symptom of my pregnancy, which I'll talk about in another one, but I seem to get sick really easily. So I have this cough that I can't get rid of. But anyway, so I think when we feel nervous, our automatic tendency is to think negatively. And we think things like, will I be a good mum? Or like, how will I be able to do these things? So try to be conscious of how to switch that language, that narrative in your head. So perhaps instead of, will I be a good mum, which is a complete unknown, and it just reinforces that feeling of like, not being in control or going into a territory which is completely unknown, which can make you feel anxious. So I think instead of asking questions like, oh, am I going to be a good mum? Ask questions that empower you and help you to see that, yes, I am. Things like, have I eaten a piece of fruit today? Or have I taken some time recently to just be in nature and sweat like Ali is currently sweating and enjoy the beautiful green and take a deep breath? Have I empowered myself by finding some techniques that are going to help me in the labour process, whether a C-section or whether a vaginal birth, whether you're using epidural or not, none of that really matters. Just find the thing that is comfortable for you. Take positive action. Make a birth plan that you think is going to support you as best you can, because again, we are all different. And while some women are wholeheartedly up for epidural, other women really want to try for a natural birth. I don't judge either of them, to be honest. I was both women at some points in this pregnancy, and I just think the most important thing is to listen to yourself and to do what makes this journey more comfortable. Also tying into this questioning of like, am I going to be a good mum? I just want to say to any women out there who are really struggling with giving stuff up, like sugar addiction, tendency of drinking alcohol regularly, smoking, you know, all of these things are so difficult. And it's like there's no other time in our lives, unless there's some severe health thing, that we find ourselves having to give up like all of those things. So I salute you. I give you a massive, you know, round of applause, because that is not easy. And most probably whilst you're giving up these things, you aren't giving yourself a pat on the back for resisting that cigarette every time you want one, or every time you see that delicious looking donut, like, oh, you really want it, but you resist. Like, instead of thinking how frustrating it is to have to not have those things, take the time to like compliment yourself on how powerful and strong you're being. It's also okay to wobble sometimes. You know, I'm not perfect, but ultimately, yeah, I'm trying my best. And I think that's all we can do. All we can do is just keep trying our best, even if some moments our best is better than others. I think something that is a massive anxiety with pregnancy is the old M word, miscarriage. Of course, like throughout the first trimester, I was absolutely terrified of this happening. And of course, you know, I know it can still happen in second and third trimester. But I think something that really switched in my head was the realization that more often than not, a miscarriage is a way of preventing an unhealthy child from being born, or a baby that just isn't going to last in the outdoor world. And it's not you. You know, we need to let go of this idea that every tiny thing that we eat or drink or look at or do is going to affect our baby and possibly cause a miscarriage. There is a humongous pressure on pregnant women to be perfect and to never put their babies in any sort of potential danger. And I think that the reason miscarriage isn't talked about enough is because so many women believe, falsely, that they are somehow responsible for the miscarriage. As I mentioned earlier, the body is this amazing, powerful, intelligent tool. And a lot of the time, miscarriage is out of our hands. And I think even if you did slip up and maybe you didn't follow the perfect diet, give yourself a break. We're just trying our best, and we're not always going to be perfect. Sometimes we are going to slip up or, accidentally eat an unwashed lettuce leaf, or I've been loving pineapple. I've been addicted to pineapple. And then a family member of mine told me, like, in her culture, pineapple is a big no-no in pregnancy. And I'm just like, oh my God. But instead of freaking out about it, I did what felt right for me in my pregnancy, and so far, touch wood, we have a healthy child on board. So it's all good. There's a lot of information on the internet. There's also a lot of horror stories and nonsense. And basically what it is, there's so many rumors, even food that you think is healthy, some people say, no, you mustn't eat that because that can cause some sort of problem. And I think what's happened is that many Eastern cultures have a very strict routine of pregnancy, of labor, and of confinement. So after the baby is born, in China it's 100 days, in Malaysia it's 44 days, a period in which the main focus of the mother is to heal as quickly and efficiently and as well as possible, because later down the line that's going to be beneficial for the baby too. Whereas in the West, in my culture, we don't really have that mentality. There are stories of Wonder Women who give birth in the morning and then they're doing their squats and planks in the afternoon. And it's what the hell? I don't fit into either of these categories. But I think, the main thing is just to kind of, I completely forgot what I'm talking about. Baby brain. Oh yeah. Basically, I think what the internet holds, as well as some really valuable information, is just this sort of mishmash of different cultures and different ideas and old wives' tales, and what, Granny Smith used to do for all her pregnancies, and then what Granny Jones is doing for her pregnancies. All these things that used to go down in the family line are now just thrown up on the internet, which is really, really confusing. So I think the principal source of information is yourself and your feeling. You probably, 99% of the chance, you will get either food aversions, just don't want to eat it, or cravings. And this is, again, your very, very intelligent body saying, I really want this, or take this away from me, get it away. Similarly, with environments, I really had it with environments in the first trimester. I couldn't be anywhere loud or bright. I couldn't handle bright lights. Even now, if I'm in a really brightly lit environment for a long time, I will get a headache. But I've always been pretty light sensitive. So, we just have to trust ourselves and our bodies. The media is another interesting thing, because, take it with a pinch of salt, what you see in movies. You see women screaming at their husbands and pushing as they lie on their backs as they give birth. And then they give birth to a child that suddenly appears to be 2 weeks old. Take it with a pinch of salt. Don't take this too seriously. And the horror stories of terrible births and stillbirths and all the worst case scenario things that you see online. I'm not saying to delude yourself and think that this definitely won't happen, because things happen, emergency C-sections happen, stillbirths happen, blood and guts and gross things happen, but you cannot think that way. And like this pregnancy, you will survive. Whatever happens, even the worst case scenario, if it happens, you will cope, because again, this amazing machine that you're in, you'll just cope. If you've gotten this far, if you find yourself pregnant and freaking out, and even watching this video, trying to find out ways to kind of calm the anxiety, you're a trooper. and you're doing what's best for you. So we can't worry about what's going to happen. All we can do is just try our best in the moment. And if it's not sparkling 110% best, then forgive yourself. If you need to kind of boost yourself, watch a video of someone's really positive birth story. Try and find things that kind of like reflect what you hope for, because basically like where your attention goes, your energy flows. And if you are obsessing about the worst case scenario, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it helps to have a positive image in your mind. Like, I had this idea that labour was this massively painful thing and I was going to be like screaming the whole way through it. And then I watched this video of a natural birth with no pain relief, and the woman was more calm than me on a normal day. She was so calm, and it was like she was going through this deep spiritual awakening. The way that she processed that labour, it was like the most beautiful thing. And yeah, I definitely cried. But it was a really inspiring thing to see because it completely changed my narrative of what labour is like. It's like the beginning of the journey for the baby. I don't want it to be this terrible, painful thing that I have to put up with. You know, the pain or the intensity of labour, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Well, I don't know. This is me 16 weeks in, never having even like a Braxton Hicks or anything. I have no idea what I'm talking about really, but we will all find out. But the truth is I feel very, very confident. I have all this time in which to prepare myself mentally, and I do think that the mental preparation is really, really important, perhaps more so than the physical preparation, because the body takes care of itself. The brain can kind of get in your way sometimes. So use this time to treat yourself. Get some nice, gorgeous oil and take nice baths if that's what your doctor says is okay. It's actually okay here in Japan to take hot baths. Not too hot though, but yeah, you know, do things to treat yourself, and also treat yourself in your mind, you know, like find some nice breathing techniques or hypnobirthing. Do a bit of studying of that, because these are all ways where you can just like empower yourself and understand that like you have this amazing wisdom that you've perhaps never tapped into before, but you have, and that is going to get you through this up and down journey of not just pregnancy, but labour, and probably the first few weeks of sleeplessness. Yeah, anyway, we're all in this together. I wish you the best of luck with your journey. Let me know how it's going, leave your comments, and do let me know if this video was helpful at all. I hope it was. Thank you once again for listening, and until next time. Bye bye.